I could release 3 books with soothing, uncovering it. Otherwise, it is very painful. The book sought to be released is so heavily controlled. You have to do everything under the sun to get to the book. Congratulations to the chairman for making it soothing. Distinguished Chairman of National Human Rights Commission, Justice Arun Mishra. In his emotive address, he has traversed the accomplishments and the challenges we face. Distinguished members of the Commission, distinguished audience, my greetings to all present here as we are in togetherness stakeholders in promotion of human rights. Greetings to all on this momentous occasion, the 75th Human Rights Day, marking the 75th anniversary of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. A coincidence, it just follows our Amrit Kal, and our Amrit Kal has become our Gaurav Kal, primarily due to blossoming of human rights and values. Friends, we had the occasion to get a message from the Secretary General of United Nations. It would have been appropriate and worthwhile to take note of the massive revolutionary affirmative changes that are taking place in Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity, on promotion of human rights. No part of the globe is so blossoming, prospering with human rights as our country is doing. And why not? Our civilizational ethos, constitutional framework reflect our deep commitment to respecting, safeguarding, and nurturing human rights. It is in our DNA. Human rights are spinally strengthened when there is human empowerment in sharp contradiction to fiscal patronage. Empowerment of pocket by fiscal grant only increases dependence. The politics of so-called freebies, for which we see mad race, distort expenditure priorities. Freebies, as per economic giants, undercut the basic framework of macroeconomic stability. There needs to be a healthy national debate how expensive this patronage is for the economy, life quality, and social cohesion in the long run. I would greatly appreciate National Human Rights Commission catalyzing a debate, coming out with a paper that can be extremely informative, motivational, and inspirational for the people at large. And those who are in seats of governance can be enlightened that we need to empower not pockets, but human minds, human resource. Friends, greatly appreciate massive infrastructural growth in the country, as it is quintessential to proliferation and empowerment of human rights. Human rights blossom in a society where there is equality of law and access to justice for all. None is above the law, be you ever so high, the law is always above you, is the new norm in the country. A big paradigm shift. There was a time when some thought they were above law. There was a time when some thought they were beyond the reach of law. Now all high and mighty, you may be just anybody. You are accountable to law. This is happening. It is an inalienable facet of promoting human rights. Friends, transparency and accountable governance, a new norm, is a game changer for promoting human rights. Rich dividends are resulting. Imagine a scenario. Who are the sufferers when the governance is not transparent? It is not accountable. The poor, the vulnerable, the needy, the women. This is a big game changer exercise that is a ground reality in Bharat. Employment of technology in service delivery has resulted and strengthened human rights. This is not just a sentence. Go to any village. Deep penetration of technology, efficient delivery of services. The benefit is to the last person. Whatever is intended to be reached to a particular person reaches now, without cut, without deduction, without middleman, and directly to his or her bank account. Can there be a greater giant step for promotion of human rights? Global entities need to recognize it and understand it. Our Bharat is an example to the world how to nurture, blossom, promote, and flourish human rights. One has to step out of the metros to see the ground reality. Nurturing human rights is the cornerstone of democracy. There is wholesome convergence in our country of all the organs of the state, legislature, judiciary and executive, for making us proud for evolution of ecosystem where human rights flourish now as never before. Our robust judicial system gave us Visakha. Our robust judicial system has generated interventions that are unrivaled elsewhere in the globe on the score of human rights. We are home to 1/6 of humanity. We are now role model to the world in nurturing human rights. India's profound commitment to human rights is firmly anchored in a robust system we have in judiciary, executive, and legislature. Friends, the world was facing pandemic COVID. We cared for the human rights of other countries. We took care of our people and provided co-vaccine to 100 countries. There needs to be global reflection, recognition of this, particularly by global entities that are engaged in assessing these things. We have been treated most unfairly by certain entities because they have not delved deep into our performance. Scratching the surface is not appropriate on such aspects. Justice Arun Mishra call for removing the stigma associated with mental illness has been impactful and widely appreciated. The learned judge, the chairman, was reflecting on something which is a global challenge to us. He invited everyone's attention to this important aspect. Justice Mishra has all through keenly engaged in sensitizing the society to treat human rights defenders as their eyes and ears. He firmly spoke for human rights defenders. He became their defender to evolve a system so that we all become friendly to promotion of human rights. NHRC deserves to be complimented for encapsulating a sense of human rights in one of its reports, underlining that the law of the ruler and not rule of law is the bane of human rights. That was in the context of post-poll violence. A very comprehensive report, and that has brought about reformation. Visitation of consequences for exercise of franchise is worrisome, but that is being contained systematically in the country. We have to note the positive change that has taken place after the report. Awareness has been generated. All have been sensitized. Indisputably, human rights optimally fructify when equality is established and inequities are addressed. On this score, by series of initiatives and policies, our performance is exemplary. The Honorable Chairman in his address has reflected on this. Look at what has happened to the people at the ground level, the people at end of the row, the benefits that have been accrued to them. Action-oriented execution of affirmative policies to alleviate poverty and uplift poor has been rewarding from human rights perspective as well. This has accounted for India's phenomenal rise, making it 5th largest global economy, on way to becoming the 3rd largest global economy by end of the decade. Friends, the greatest danger to human rights emanates from corruption. Corruption frontally threatens human rights. It undermines the rule of law, creates an environment where exploitation and discrimination can thrive, hitting the vulnerable and the weakest and the hardest. Corruption and human rights cannot coexist. The bane of corruption in India for long is now contained. There is now in place a governance mechanism that provides no room for nepotism, favoritism, and promotion. Corruption has been neutralized in power corridors. This is a very big change in governance. I would appreciate global entities to take note of it. India's governance model is free from corruption, free from favoritism, free from nepotism, free from promotion. It is dictated wholly by transparency, accountability, and merit. As a result of firm execution by the government, millions have been lifted from the shackles of poverty, paving the way for a future brimming with economic opportunities, access to quality health care. I wouldn't dilate much. In a country of 1.4 billion, our health care is so strong, everyone is reaping the advantage of it. And as a consequence of the governmental policies, the health infrastructure has phenomenally, geometrically grown. Sound education system. After 3 decades, we had a new education policy that provides for growth of human rights also. The government has taken several steps to ensure that our growth is inclusive. What can be more inclusive growth than having banking inclusion, which is explosion? What can be more inclusive growth that everyone is beneficiary of infrastructural development? What can be more inclusive growth that everyone is getting advantage? The women are getting advantage by gas availability to them, water availability at the door, toilets in every house, and enormous opportunities for them to use their talent. They employ themselves, they employ others also. The government has implemented very successfully policies that we need to be proud of. It is because of execution of those policies that India's rise in the world is being recognized. India has emerged as a global leader. India is agenda setter now. Those who used to advise us seek advice from us. We have become the voice of African Union by getting them inclusion in G20. We have become voice of Global South, for the first time bringing them on the center stage. I am amazed sometimes that these historical developments of epochal consequence are missed out by people in global entities who need to be focusing on that. This is not a day for making a ritual statement. This is not a day to make replicated statements. This is a day to open your eyes, see where 1/6 of humanity is going, how it is influencing the world at large, how it is talking of peace, harmony, and growth. It pains me sometimes when those who need to be doing so become critics, chronic critics. Something has to be done in this respect. Friends, I say it with pain. We need to be alive to untenable and pernicious narratives and external calibrations that turn Nelson's eye of our exemplary performance. I'm startled in a country of our size, 1.4 billion. People pick up courage outside to talk of hunger crisis. Don't they realize that from April 1, 2020, more than 800 million people are being given free food that will continue as per declaration of Prime Minister for next 5 years. That is the strength of this country. And some people have the audacity to get away from ground reality, distance themselves from facts, and talk of hunger index of this country. they need to revisit their approach, which is irrational and, if I may say, prejudicial to those who are engaged in shaping course of humanity. Friends, the quest to eradicate poverty and promote human rights in India, we have adopted a model which is very successful. And the kind of digital penetration we have had, that has been commended by world leaders, that countries need to emulate us. Our digital penetration is unrivaled in the world. Our digital transactions in 2022 were 4 times that of USA, UK, France, and Germany. And look at the digital penetration affecting human rights. Per capita data consumption of internet is more than that of USA and UK, USA and China taken together. Friends, I do not want to sound overcritical, but I am responding to the call of my conscience. When I see distinguished people present here, I can't reflect that none is present here. Each one of you present here is a nerve center, epicenter. You bring on the table huge exposure, huge experience. If I don't share my thoughts with you, I'll not be doing service to the duty or service to the post which I hold. Government policies have generated hope, optimism, and confidence in 1.4 billion people. Look around the world and look at the index of hope, optimism, and confidence. Our country will be rated very high. But those who calibrate it in air-conditioned chambers, closed chambers, cannot see it. They need to take note of it. Employment of technology to realize human rights. Ours is a country that has done massively. We are in the front rank. Our service delivery system has become transparent. Our public distribution system is so effective. We have employed technology. We have employed technology in a country where people thought this country may not be having enough knowledge in people to use technology. Honorable audience, our DNA is very strong on adaptation of technology. Our human genius is unrivaled in the world. It is making impact in every nook and corner of the globe, in every institution. What are we seeking from them, the outside world? We are not telling them congratulate us because we had African Union included. We are not telling them congratulate us because we have become voice of Global South. We are just telling them, open your eyes. Don't be prejudicially subjective. Don't cling to your predetermined thoughts. See the revolution that is taking place in 1/6 of humanity. And look at how India's rise is there, on sea, on road, in sky, in space. That is our achievement. India stands for common good of the common man most successfully, effectively, and that is the ground reality today. These initiatives are provided. I recall the days when I was a student, access to credit was impossible. Now access to credit is easy. You just have to have an idea in your mind. If there is an ecosystem in this country that anyone can exploit one's talent and resources, potential to realize ambitions and dreams, that is reflection of Human Rights Index. And that is the scene we have in this country today. Just look at the startups, look at the unicorns, and they reveal the statistics, how ordinary people have made it big. Friends, I would think someone will do the study. Millions and millions have been uplifted from poor poverty. Millions and millions lives have been changed. Capacity building is our new norm. Every person in this country now thinks it as a destination of opportunity. IMF is not wrong. India is the fastest growing economy. How can I believe a former RBI governor who spoke it can't go beyond 5%? What data he had? He was here only while he held assignments located elsewhere and doesn't say a word when he is proved wrong. The growth is 50% more than what he has indicated and the highest in the world. We have to neutralize these narratives. We have to nip in the bud these sinister forces. They are enemies not of the nation but of human rights. Because this country is committed to human rights by virtue of its civilizational ethos, constitutional framework, and mindset of every Indian. During COVID, I was Governor of the State of West Bengal. I saw ordinary people hand-holding others. One who had difficulty food for himself made available food to others. That is our Bharat. We are a role model to the world how to nurture, promote, flourish, and blossom human rights. Our journey needs to be replicated by others. Friends, the world needs to take note of India's exemplary nurturing of human rights. It is transformation in Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity. There have been impactful policies at elevating the poverty of the people by empowering them and affording them a life of dignity and hope. मैं आपको क्या बताऊं? माताओं बहनों से पूछो, आंख में आंसू आते थे, आज गैस का उपयोग करती हैं। सर पर मटका लेकर पानी लाती थी किलोमीटर से, घर में नल है। उनको रास्ता नहीं मिलता था कि डिग्निटी कैसे मिलेगी। सूर्यास्त के पहले जाएं, सूर्यास्त के बाद जाएं, सूर्योदय से पहले जाएं, कहाँ जाएं, कैसे जाएं। टॉयलेट इन एवरी होम। उनको नौकरी मिलने का कोई साधन नहीं था पहले। आज मुद्रा स्कीम के अंदर वो 50 से 60% भागीदारी है। मुझे पता नहीं, कुछ लोगों को या तो उनकी पाचक शक्ति थोड़ी गड़बड़ है या वो इसको देख नहीं पा रहे हैं। द वर्ल्ड नीड्स टू टेक नोट ऑफ इट। फ्रेंड्स, बात की जाती है नारी शक्ति की। क्यों दुनिया की शक्तियां सलाम नहीं करती कि भारत ने 21 सितंबर को वो कर दिखाया? और किस देश में कर दिखाया जिसकी आबादी 1.4 बिलियन है? 1/3 हॉरिजॉन्टल एंड वर्टिकल रिजर्वेशन for women in Lok Sabha and state legislatures. Why does the world does not open eyes to see that this reservation has a societal equitable component also? There will be specified reservation to the extent of 1/3 for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe women. These are big changes that have taken place. Friends, I wouldn't like to go more because I don't want to sound as a critic. Reflect, think deeply. I have only underscored fraction of our achievements. Fraction of our achievements. For last 4 years and more, I am witness to this development. I come from a family of a farmer. Does the world not know what is the meaning of human rights? When a tribal woman in this country becomes president of India, is it not reflection of human rights? When son of a farmer is vice president, when an OBC man is the prime minister, I am not a stakeholder in politics, but I will certainly have a sense of joy that my prime minister, our prime minister, is the most popular person in the world. That is adjust. When president of an important country says, Prime Minister Modi is finally very strong, I don't take it as appreciation. I take it as a reflection of ground reality because I see it every day. Every political party in our country contributes to our growth. Every political party is committed to growth of India. I don't see growth of India from political prism or contribution of political parties. But if some individuals have made impact which the globe has recognized, I just want to share it. Baki, everyone present here, ये हवन है, ह्यूमन राइट्स का उत्थान, ह्यूमन राइट्स के बारे में चिंतन करना, मंथन करना, सोच करना, इस हवन में सबकी आहुति जाएगी, सबको आहुति देनी चाहिए. Everyone has to contribute. It is everyone's concern. I am grateful to Chairman Justice Arun Mishra for affording this opportunity to me to share my thoughts with the people who know more than I do and are more concerned than I am about human rights and welfare of this nation. Thank you so much.